Well, we are going to be getting those team fight rumble combos as we get ourselves into game number 2. This could be the cut, taking the 2-0 win, starting their journey in the lower division by showing that, yeah, we're very quickly going to get back into upper. Or it could be the young upstarts, the 5RATFORCESTAFFs, who show us a new look, show us a new style of Dota, and demonstrate to us that they should not be overlooked either. We'll see how it goes. They emerge early, but the smoke breaks super fast. Pingu definitely will be on with the D-ward, so Nico quickly trying to do it himself. He knows what's up. Doesn't want to give
The
away the
mind
free
games
gold.
have begun. Oh, Pingu does get it.
Pingu got it. They might get a first blood though instead. DNM, beautiful juking through the bramble maze of B-God. So now they've already committed that spell. They know what the level, the 1 pickup is going to be from B-God. They don't lose anybody. They get the D-ward middle. The cut haven't even had to commit all that much of their own vision, and they're not really depositioned either. This feels like an amazing start to the game for them.
And Tingle King got Gush level 1 as well, which is nice for getting kills, but in lane, it's not really that great. Ooh.
Yeah.
Scourge McDuck. He is positioned very aggressively right now. Wants to go for this deal.
Have the Lucent Beam. I don't know if this is actually a good idea. Okay.
See, I always get excited about these level 1 fights and then nothing happens.
Nobody wants to be the one that starts a fight and then ends up losing the game because they went too aggressive, you know? I understand. I get it.
It all makes sense, but come on. Sometimes you just want some excitement in life.
Oh god. Alright. You want excitement? Here we go. We've got some excitement for you. DP versus OD middle. We used to have this matchup much more often than we have now, but where is this one gonna go? Because I feel like this is not a super straightforward matchup, but will Nico be able to do it? He needs a very good lane. He needs a good start to this game. And of course, needs to be active with his team as well. Is this the kind of lane that he can be set up to make that happen for himself? Or does the advantage for OD only eke in a little bit later when there's more levels available?
I feel like one of the reasons why OD does well in this matchup is because his harass is pretty low commitment. Like, he can just spam out the orb and get back his mana, and then eventually he buys a bloody perseverance as well, which tends to help a lot with lane sustain. While DP is more reliant on the bottle and spamming out Crypt Swarm. So this is definitely a matchup where Nico can do well, so I'm expecting big things from you, young man.
Well, he's doing those big things in the top lane. Speaking of big things, the big hero of the game is this Medusa, Italiano gangster. Had a rough showing on the Terrorblade, but still being put on a hyper carry here. We'll see how the matchup goes. Right now in the laning phase, they can't really put too much pressure on this Earthshaker. Going to be able to get what they need. There is kill potential here, so Overlord does need to be worried about his positioning. But he's still going to just be happy to throw out some Ignites or some Mystic Snake forward. But now he's been blocked away. They don't have the Fire Snap cookie though, so no possibility of actually getting this kill.
Yeah, good luck killing an Ogre with a bloody Ring of Protection. It's gonna take more than that.
Just a little bit more, a couple of extra spells. And then down bottom, the last lane remaining that we haven't really spoken about, Scourge McDuck. We did see this particular matchup start to occur in recent times because of how much pressure this Luna can put on Tide. But there will be a little bit of help from B-God, but largely I'm expecting that Scourge McDuck still will be able to find his farm for the most part here, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to fully shut down a Luna. Eventually the Luna blessing levels are gonna come up and she gets like insane right click damage. And her range is pretty mediocre, yes, but she still has the Lucent Beam and pretty high movement speed as well, so she's gonna be mostly fine.
Everything will be fine. Slow start to the game. Scourge McDuck will be able to juke through the Bramble Maze at the very end there. Came a little bit close, but one of the main drawbacks of this B-God young Dark Widow is regrettably you do not have the simplest initiation at these early levels, so can't lock Scourge McDuck down, able to trigger off the self, back right up to full like nothing ever happened. It's all good.
So far it looks like the OD and the DP are pretty much even in mid lane, with OD having a few more denies. So nothing too interesting happening there just yet. Looks like all the lanes are a bit more passive than last game, but Scourge McDuck in some trouble.
Jungle Maze does connect onto him, and they did get that early gush, but the Nightmare prevents the spell usage from the Tingle King. It will not be allowed to find that kill, unfortunately, so just a little bit of a waste of mana. And like you mentioned, everything is just a lot more static. The top lane, we're not getting any kills happening between these heroes. Italiano Gangster happy to farm, DNM happy to farm, Nico and Kit happy to farm. Down bottom, Tingle King and Scourge McDuck happy to farm. So everybody's just taking a break from Dota 2, quickly dipping into World of Warcraft MMO, just farming up a little bit, enjoying life.
It's relaxed sometimes, you know? And I have to say, I love the gold sound in Dota, so I don't blame them.
Oh,
it's so good.
Windblade, I'm so glad you said this. I'm so glad somebody understands. Sometimes I just want to farm just to hear that. Oh, it's wonderful. We could literally be here all day talking about how satisfying it is to hit creeps.
It's like when someone asks you why you play Dota and you're like, it's complicated.
Just want to hit creeps, and right now top, they just want to hit this ogres. DNM going on to Overlord. They almost have the kill. One more right click will take the cake, and they will be able to find him. Italiano Gangster threw out the Mystic Snake just to make sure that there's going to be some additional HP to stay alive in the lane, but they're just happy on the side of the cut. I mean, you're getting a standard static lane where you're farming up on the Earthshaker and you get the first blood. It literally could not get better for you. Soul Ring already flying in. Permanent sustain now available in this lane, despite having access to the Mystic Snake for this Medusa.
Pingu and
Actually,
Beagle.
try again in the top lane. Fire Snap Cookie, thrown out again. They want to go with this Earthshaker, the Fissure, with the Enchant Totem hit, more than enough damage. Overlord dead again, and he just poured it back to this lane. So Medusa, and he's spending a lot of time alone. Fortunately for her, DNM is low enough that he doesn't really want to play too far forward here, but this is a great way to be starting the game here for the cut. The top lane, the lane that they needed the most, is going really, really well. Medusa's under pressure. Elsewhere on the map, it's still static for the most part, but they're okay with this if they can get a decent start on this Earthshaker in the way that they have at the moment.
Yeah, I love watching Koi Earthshaker. These enchant totems hit so hard, even against an ogre with a ton of armor.
Ooh. Pingu triggered out the Young Shadow Realm to avoid getting Nightmare and killed. So Kits will then just secure the top regen rune. That's situated inside the bottle. We do have level 6 available, so now they are up with the Exorcism. Is there a place that we should see them try to use this? I mean, DNM is getting so much in the top lane. Are they going to move to this direction, or will they try help out with Luna, who has been struggling a little bit with the CS since Pingu has been adventuring towards middle to help out that side, leaving this Luna completely alone. So she's been playing a lot more safely. So she might need that extra help, but at the same time, it's a Tidehunter in this lane. Very difficult to kill to grab with the first rotation.
Ideally, you just want to pop it on mid, but if you... it's just so difficult to do anything against an OD with Meteor Hammer. At least he mistimes it. That's nice for Kits.
It's great for Kits. Unfortunately for Nico, that's going to be... I always feel as a mid player, the first usage of the big item that you buy, you always want to get something successful out of it. Even if it's just a mere Meteor Hammer to annoy the opponents, feels a bit rough when you miss the cost itself. Let's hope it's not going to be the story of the game for Nico. But for now, he's farming very well. Has a decent amount of net worth to himself. He's going to try again with this timing. Beam Hammer this time does connect onto Kit, but just for some harass potential. Does have sanities, but Kit is not nearly low enough to actually commit the spell at this point.
I feel obliged to speak about this again, but if you want to time the Meteor Hammer perfectly, just start channeling the moment the little disable bar hits the H, and you're gonna perfectly time it every single time. That is with a level 4 Astral, of course.
Gonna hit the H, then you trigger it, and you will be happy. Follow this advice. You know, OD players don't want you to know this secret advice.
Just revealing all the secrets.
Might have a fight here. Nico dropping down the Meme Hammer does connect onto the DP, and Giants jumped forward to hope to interrupt it. But took a bit of damage, will be forced away. Pingu starting to flee now. B-God unable to get an additional curse crown, it's still on cooldown. So there will be no kill that happens middle. A lot of heroes posturing for pretty much nothing. It happens sometimes, but the cut finally will be heading to this top lane. They see that DNM is feeling very strong. They understand that they want to stop Medusa before she starts farming heavily in the jungle. Unfortunately for them, they're a little bit too late, so they'll have to content themselves just with the usage of Exorcism onto the tower.
It looks like they want to kill the Medusa first, and Medusa doesn't have ulti yet, so that's a quick kill.
That was a very quick kill. I didn't think she died that soon, but the damage between Kits and Giant, more than enough in that blink of an eye, and that Medusa completely taken out. She finished off the camp, picked up a keen optic, and then summarily died immediately afterwards. And they still get to trigger these ghosts onto the tier 1 tower. And with Medusa already being gone, there's nothing for the 5RATFORCESTAFF to protect in this top lane, so they just have to let the tower go. And it doesn't seem like on their lineup they'll be able to make the appropriate trade down bottom. Tingle King just can't make this happen with the Tidehunter.
It is a very slow push. He should be able to get this eventually if no one comes to defend. Because Tide is great at clearing creeps. It's just very slow. It's very relaxed, I should say.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You're making me want to just spool up practice mode and run Tide just in some camps for a while. Let's go relax myself. And he is eventually going to get it. Took them a little bit of time, but doesn't seem like the cut actually want to move to that bottom lane to defend, because Scourge McDuck is joining his team in the mid lane. Looking like they want to posture around here. He's going to clear out some of these camps in the triangle and still be ready to pop back in for a push if needed. They don't really have that many stacks on the Ancients available for him just yet, so no massive acceleration on that front. For 5RATFORCESTAFF though, that same is not true. Italiano Gangster has been set up magnificently here to get as much farm as possible, and that's a pretty hefty Ancient stack. A lot of gold that's going to be coming into this Medusa right now.
Yeah, that's a really nice influx of gold. Let's see if she can make it worth this game.
Well, she's getting the Overlong beef. Bloodlust, always nice. Make this go a little bit faster. Ironically enough, you know, last game you were asking how on earth is this offlane Magnus the most farmed hero in the map. DNM repeating that particular thing. He's second only behind the Medusa. However, if he gets connected onto with the smoke, that ranking might change, but it looks like Kits might be the one that gets found out. Great movement. Meme Hammer comes right on the H, so it's gonna hit flush. No way out for the DP. Wings Blade's advice has been followed, and now a DP is dead. Good news at long last for the 5RATFORCESTAFF. And they're also going to mount a push to this mid lane. Siege Tower is nearby, but Italiano Gangster also showing up to supply some right clicks. There's no way that the tier 1 is going to end up surviving this damage.
DNM does have himself a blink dagger, but I doubt they really want to go for a big fight here with DP still being dead.
What kind of game is this with DNM on this core Earthshaker? Is he gonna go Ags? Is he gonna go for the BKB after this? Do we have one of those meme games where he buys Aghanim Shard instead? Now that he's gotten so much gold and doesn't seem set to stop really, like how does he utilize his resources to best make sure that this hero is as effective as possible?
I think Aghanims is just too good of an item not to buy, but BKB is a necessity as well. I would probably get Aghanims first, just for the mobility, farming speed, and just general annoyance in fights.
Ooh. Speaking of annoyance, Morty's Kisses follow up onto this fissure. Nico taking so much damage. Nico almost gonna die here. Ticking very low. 20 damage. Is he gonna die? No! Survives on 3 HP. And the fear thrown in of the Dark Willow will send several heroes from the cut back, but unfortunately there's nothing they can do to keep the Ogre alive. Gets ran down by DNM and the gang. With these spirits flying about from the Exorcism, should be able to claim the tier 1 as well. DNM does have Fissure out again onto the Tingle King.
Did you see the Intimidation Echo Slam as well? He saw the...
What? He committed Echo?
Yep, he just missed it.
Gosh.
But, you know, I feel like he sent a message to 5RATFORCESTAFF. He was like, we don't need Echo. Come on, guys.
Wow. Okay.
It's like that one time, I don't remember which game it was, but one of the teams just used all of their big ultis outside the base, like Ravage, Chrono, Black Hole, and then went on to finish the game.
I mean, sometimes you gotta... Oh, there we see it now. We just caught wind at the very end there. That was definitely an Intimidation Echo. The Blink Echo doesn't happen. I mean, at least you got the Fissure. That was nice. The real play there was somehow... It really was. Almost killed the OD. He survived on literally 3 HP, but I shouldn't be surprised. Any other OD I would have been like, wow, he got off on the last hit. But it's Nico. Meh, average times.
Yeah, don't just assume that DNM makes mistakes. Come on.
under attack.
He is a god amongst men.
Now they are going to be posturing around this Roshan pit, looking for another fight still. They get this vision on the high ground. Tengu walks headlong into the OD and the Ogre. There will not be a meme hammer because it will get interrupted, but they should still have enough damage to get this kill. Tingle King, no blink available for the Tide, not even going to be building it, so can't really find the close range for this instant initiation for the Ravage. What do you make of this, that he's dodging out blink in its entirety to opt for the Aghanim Scepter instead?
I think it's pretty fine. I mean, Aghanims is just very good. It accelerates your game a lot. And Blink Dagger, it doesn't really fit what they want to do at this stage of the game just yet. Like later on, they're gonna wanna fight and you wanna have that instant initiation. But you need to wait until your carry is fat first.
Eat this Dusa as much as possible. Thus far, she's been given some choice delicacies all across the map. Has the full Manta, top on the net worth. She's farming decently well right now. And of course, the drive-by Bloodlusts are helping in that regard. But Overlom, his services might be called upon again. Not to give Bloodlust, but to tank this gank. Because there are 5 heroes heading in this area for the cut. But they're trying to go in towards the triangle. They do find out that there's nobody in this area. So the gank is not going to work out for them. Although, will they have the game sense to come back? Yes, they will. They find the Dusa. She does trigger off the very early stone gaze. She needs to get out. Nico also shows up though, and they do get the stone out onto DNM. Morty's kisses though, interrupting them, getting all this damage out. Nico, this time not so lucky to survive. He ends up taking a tumble, and these ghosts doing even more damage to Overlom and Tingle King. The Terrorize will be there, buying a little bit of time, but unfortunately DP still easily able to come back in to find Overlom. And they can't save the Dark Willow either. V-God will get taken out. 3 heroes will fall. All they get for this is the Pingu Bane. And the cut. The smoke gank went a long way around, but they finally find some viable target and they take yet another fight.
I feel like the cut was kind of surprised to find the Dusa there. And DNM was like, alright. But ultimately they could take the fight because Death Prophet, of course, when she doesn't get bursted down, deals so much damage in these early fights. We could see it just 2.6k damage. Credit to the Snapfire as well, did 2.4k, which is pretty respectable for a position 4/5.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's going for this Veil of Discord build as well to amplify the amount of damage they'll be dealing in these moments. Now the game starts to become about Roche. Tingle King is in the area, doesn't have good vision. Still trying to finish this Aghanim Scepter. And like you mentioned, is going to wait until this Medusa is a bit bigger before he looks for further initiation. And also potentially wait for Nico to finish off the full BKB. This is a required item. Has definitely taken the advice to go for it. Oh, we got beautiful dodge there with the Shadow Realm. Throwing back also the Bramble Maze onto Pingu. Curse Crown will stun out the Bane Elemental. What? The Nightmare dodge from Pingu? Okay. We see you, young man. We see you out here.
Pretty swaggy. See, Luna almost has her BKB as well. So we're gonna hit some big timing soon for both teams. BKB out for OD, the Aghanims for the Tide, BKB for the Luna. I'm expecting some big fights in the near future.
And I'm also taking your earlier advice about opting for the BKB. Make sure that he has that available to himself. Well, Ags will probably come thereafter. But right now, additional protection. And it does feel like a very strong spike to get double BKB around the same time. Of course, DNM will be delayed a bit. Would be great if it arrived simultaneously, but what can you do? This game going as it stands. And Dusa's also getting close to the Eye of Skadi here. This is always really, really nice when you know that you're playing against an opponent carry that will always have some degree of life steal available. And the DP with the Spirit Siphon will also find some impact from this item as well, once it is complete from the Medusa.
Yeah, Skadi is a really nice item here. Also to ensure that you don't get bursted within the Echo Slam. That is so important. Because getting off a Stone Gaze is the difference between winning or losing a fight. Ooh, we have a certain check as casters to see if a player is objectively good or bad. And I'll keep an eye on it, but it's very simply to see if people who have a Vambrace thread switch and Vambrace switch at the same time, or if they are lazy and just do one of them. That is one way to tell if a player is objectively good or bad.
Right, so we gotta keep eyes on the Medusa. Because Italiano Gangster is the one that's rolling around with the Vambrace. Thus far, they're both on Agi. We'll see once they do the swap, so Wingblade, make sure to keep track on that. In the meantime, though, the cut, tired of not really finding any action, they're like, wait, we have Ghost Stones, and we have Little Shredder, and we have right-click damage, why don't we just take Roshan? And now they're in the pit, and I don't think there's any way possible that ForceStaff can actually play into this or stop this move at all.
They scan it out now, but it's way too late. Still see a fight though, Tide is in pretty deep.
Ingo King got caught with a nightmare. Blink, DNM, Echo Slam. This time it's not for intimidation purposes, it's for the kills. They've gotten B-God already. Overlob. Next one to fall into the grave. Single King just walking away here. Pingu doesn't want to commit the Fiend's Grip. It is a Tide Hunter after all. The Ghost will return. And they might not have all the stuns in the world, but they have all the damage in the world. Scourge McDuck shows up to assist and they get another kill. How is it that they reliably get 3 kills? No matter what the circumstances are, they're always getting the 2 supports +1. This time it's the unfortunate Tide. And without fear of Ravage, feels like they have a lot more freedom to play the map right now and do whatever the hell they want.
And Nico is being chased. DNM knows something is up. Ooh, doesn't quite want to commit his blink forward. That's a little bit scary for Nico, but he's gonna be fine. He should have his BKB soon.
That is always the saddest thing as a core player when you die.
Ooh, Nico.
Like a minute or two before BKB
Did I
is up.
just
But
jinx
Nico, he
him?
goes back in, far away from his team, and I think Wingblade might just jinx them. Cops the entire Eclipse to the face, and there's no way he can survive that one.
I'm sorry, Nico. I owe you a cup of tea.
Oh, a very big cup of tea, I think, because that curse. Oof. But on a real talk level, though, it is very surprising that he chose to stick around in this area because they have this observer ward here that did see heroes from the cut moving down towards bottom, so he should have known that there were players in the area. Still gets caught out, still dies, the tier 1 tower falls quickly, and that also delays the timing for this BKB. And you were mentioning how difficult the game's going to be without this item. You've already seen it, and it only gets harder from here on out unless you have the protection of that magic immunity.
The Aghanim's is finally up for the Tide. So that's gonna accelerate his game a little bit. He also has the Bull Whip, so he's a really quick melon, which is nice.
Tower just taking down bottom. No counterplay from the 5RATFORCESTAFF. They are all congregating around this mid area. Top lane, there's a very big wave pushing in, but they just have to watch it. They can't really go to that side of the map and try and assist in that push happening. Nobody in the team has BTs, and also no one has a BKB to TP out if they do get into danger. And the Scotty is finished now for Italiano Gangster. Is this one of those rarefied games where we do have the option for Medusa BKB, or rather the requirement for it, given how much quick burst is out for the cut? Or do you rather opt in the direction of, okay, never mind, that question.
Yep, the moment you said BKB, literally the moment you said that, she queued up the BKB.
I feel like you need BKB in this game. This is too scary. DNM is playing too well. There's too much damage coming out of Giant. We already have the impact of kits with the Spirit Siphon, Crypt Swarms. When the opponent has all these BKBs, I feel like you just do the right thing. Get the item, get yourself ready to fight. Otherwise, you just get left behind by the opponents.
Right, so Italiano Gangsta, he didn't even toggle his threads when using the snake, so I'm not quite sure.
You are skeptical. You're like, what is this? What's going on, fam? Maybe he just forgot that one time. Let's see. Next snake usage should be coming soon. Don't disappoint us, Italiano. Oh no.
I mean, he's almost full mana now. I'll give him a break.
Yeah.
I'll watch it in the fights. That's when it truly counts. Speaking about fights, we could be seeing one soon because Luna has an Aegis she wants to use, and the cut has all of their ultis.
Yep. They have everything in tow. They're just gonna take the tier 2 tower in the top lane, Scourge McDuck right there with the right click. Outpost is already available for them because of the work they've done elsewhere on the map. So with not much else to do with the remaining 45 seconds, we already saw the cut had this tendency in game 1 to try eke out every advantage possible with every second of this Aegis. And they look towards the high ground. Unfortunately for them, Tide does have access to this Aghanim Scepter, so this is very effective D-push and does make it very risky to go up the hill with such a low timer on the Aegis. So rather get back, finish this Daedalus for Scourge McDuck, and then you'll come back for the next fight, probably after the next Aegis, I imagine.
Yeah, she's gonna have Daedalus and she's gonna have the Shard as well, which is really nice for just poking. Because right now, good luck with pushing against the Tide Hunter. That's not gonna happen. They need some
Tingle
pickles
King.
first.
Radiant's middle
Tingle King
tower
is
is
turning
under
into the
attack.
defensive king. Try and stay on the high ground and keep it as healthy as possible. Whilst he's doing that though, the rest of the cut are going to smoke out. Following the path of DNM, he's almost at BKB, but he wants to finish the item by killing a hero. That's how he wants to get the gold necessary. They don't have effective vision
Radiant's
just
middle
yet though.
tower is under
Wards will
attack.
drop out. They see the Ogre. They have to be aware that there's probably another hero behind. Nightmare will connect in. Will they be able to find this kill? They try to buy some time from Tingle King, throwing in a Gush as well as the ultimate from the Dark Willow. They don't manage to save the life of the Ogre, but they do get the kill on Bane. And now Nico, BKB active, goes in onto DNM. They also committed the Ravage and the Sanities. Earthshaker is gone. The big Stone Gaze being committed by Italiano Gangster forces back this Death Prophet, not allowing her to use these ghosts effectively. But finally, we get a decent fight. The 5RATFORCESTAFF, they get themselves an initiation, or rather they get the counter initiation. Tide Hunter on point with finding that early Gush, good terrorize, and they get the all-important kill out to DNM as well. He hasn't been farming as much as this game has gone later, but it's really good statement of intent and bodes well for what the game is going to look like if they are able to get
Radiant's
these
middle
kills,
tower is
at
under
the very
attack.
least involving Nico with the BKB active.
The Reds timed this really nicely as well, because they're gonna have all of their ultis back for a potential Roche spawn. So they're in a pretty solid position right now. The Dusa is really fat. The OD has everything he needs to fight. They have a blink on the Tide as well, so it's all coming together for the Rats.
Yeah. Luna still at the very top of the pile net worth wise, and Nico. What's going to be the option here after BKB has been finished? They have protection on him, Meme Hammer, and a Hand of Midas as well. Given the damage types on the other side, we could see a Shivas, or they might decide to go like more aggressively and get a Hex, or hell, even Blink Dagger. Feels like Nico still has to see how the next fight goes and decide from there. What do you think? What's the obvious option for this OD? Or is it just adopt that wait and see approach?
I think Shivas is really nice, but Hex could be nice as well. Tingle King gets caught, but he's a Tide.
Pingu finds the Fiend's grip onto Nico, gets cancelled by the Terrorize though, and there's gonna come in the Bedlam as well. Pingu gonna pay the price very quickly here. Kit activates the BKB and there's a fight on the other side. Italiano Gangster, oh no, the Medusa's isolated in front of the Luna, the Earthshaker, the Snapfire, and the Death Prophet. And no matter how farmed you are as the Medusa, you cannot stand against all of it alone. Earlier you were talking about how activating Stone Gaze might be the difference between living or dying. She got off absolutely nothing, got 100 to 0 before she could even move in that fight. TPing onto the outpost, thought she could help out, but instead just ends up being food for the rest of the cut.
You really cannot afford to be stingy with your BKB. Because you know that Echo Slam is instant and DNM was just waiting for the TP to complete. Now this could cost them racks because there is no buyback on the Dusa.
Radiant structures are fortified.
25 seconds without her being available. Ghosts are out for kits. Damage is being done onto the structure. Scourge still not taking up a position on the high ground, and the utilization of this AoE Gush from Tingles. Wow, in retrospect, this is seeming like a genius decision to go for this Aghanim Scepter first and foremost before anything else. It's bought them so much time in this game. And the cut, gonna be frustrated that they couldn't get more out of killing the signature Dusa, especially since Roshan still not gonna be sporting for another 2 minutes here, Wingblade. They'll be able to fight back if they need to.
And they have all the ultis now. So the Reds could try and make something happen here. Maybe potentially even before the Roche. Because they don't know when it's gonna spawn. We have like omniscience. We can always see when the Roche is gonna spawn. But the teams, they kind of have to guess to get scouted out now with the scan, and that is very unfortunate.
No, that's something that you mentioned, which I think is often lost on the viewing experience versus the playing experience of Dota. Just how much additional information you have from this top-down vantage point that we have now definitely changes things to how the teams approach the game. And of course, now top lane they do find Giant. All right. So this big smoke gank, they really wanted to find heroes either in the pit or find the Roshan empty. Sadly, all they can get is a quick kill onto Giant, but it's something. It's something. You still defended the base. Italiano Gangster, despite how massive that kill onto the Dusa was, still only the second death of the game. So it is still possible to have this big role for yourself. Of course, next time we'll see an earlier BKB, but things still looking okay right now for this Dusa.
Yep. She has 500 creep, 400 creep, so she's doing pretty well for herself. Really helps to have the Ogre as well, even if it's just a level 1 Bloodlust.
Okay, they get the grip out onto Nico. There's DNM with the Echo Slam. 2 heroes get melted in a heartbeat. The Eclipse will burst them down. Scourge McDuck trying to chase for more, but with the BKB expired, probably doesn't want to really take a tango into an available Ravage. Besides, they've already gotten 2 massive prizes. Another death onto this Ogre. They kill onto Nico, but now Blink Ravage, they come in. Scourge McDuck took too much damage from Italiano Gangster. Tingle King finally pops the big Ravage. Enables them to get a fight. DNM, BKB activated, wants to go back in to find revenge onto the Dark Willow. She does end up dying to these Morty's kisses and the damage from this Death Prophet. So they get a little bit of revenge here, but 5RATFORCESTAFF, they finally show that this Medusa, if given the opportunity, can have enough right-click damage to show Luna a really rough time. They managed to take her out. Expensive hold, expensive fight, but something at the very least. Whenever Medusa's alive and Luna is not, I think the 5RATFORCESTAFF will just take that as a win.
Ooh, Nico needs to be careful here. He has his BKB. There is no Fiend's Grip up this time. Even drops the hammer just for the sake of it.
I think that was soft, man. I think that was like, I'm not happy about what you've been doing to me, Pingu. I know what happened middle. You deserve this. Enjoy life. There you go. So now Roshan is being sieged at the moment with Big Bane not being available. Did fight back and died again. So a long respawn timer for this position 5 support will not be able to assist in keeping this Roshan alive. The 5RATFORCESTAFF, slowly but surely, good things are happening for them. They're also finding the potential kill onto DNM at the same time. Tingle King will not fully commit for this one, doesn't need to because his team has gotten the advantage they want. Aegis sitting on Nico. He's been the one that's been most susceptible to these jumps, so he's the one that gets the additional protection. Italiano Gangster just happy to take that Aghanim shot, so we've got the cold-blooded available for this Dusa. She's stronger than ever right now.
It makes some sense that they put the Aegis on OD, because of course OD is a saving hero. So you want to make sure that he can be effective in these fights and doesn't just get bursted down. At the same time, it is going to make pushing a little bit more difficult, because you don't really want to have a frontline Dusa without Aegis, because she is very tanky, but she's not going to be able to just easily stand in front of a tower and take it against the Luna with a shot and Earthshaker just spamming the Fissure.
Definitely proved to be problematic when she does apply that siege. They're not gonna go for it for now though. Still gonna be content to potentially finish off this Hex for Nico after the Blink Dagger. Swift Blink being queued up right now for this Medusa. You did of course mention where the Luna is going with this, and the cut, though they are behind on gold right now, we still can never underestimate their team fight prowess. And of course most of this gold advantage is just sitting pretty on this Medusa. And so long as she dies, which is now possible given that she doesn't have the Aegis, it's not easy to do, but it is still possible. It can happen. He's getting
for sure.
so strong here, Wingblade.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it does look very good for the 5RATFORCESTAFFs. Pretty comfy position. They have the Aegis. They could try to pressure the high ground here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Smoke
Whilst
coming
they're
out
making
from the
that
cut.
decision,
Let's see, they want to
coming from
flank.
pretty far away.
Radiant's bottom
Okay,
tower
which
is
gets here
under attack.
first? Do they take the tower first or do they arrive first from the cut? They're going as quickly as they can. DNM is the one that wants to get in on the initiation. Ooh, and look at this. Scourge McDuck also just finished a Satanic. So they have that extra tool. There is a Skadi out for the Ducer, but they still need to worry about that item. DNM has found the flank. They've got wards out from Overlom, and they dropped the Bramble Maze. The awareness is on from the 5RATFORCESTAFF. Hits will jump in, gets multicasted instantly. There will be no BKB. Rabbit will come out from Tingle King. The second one is out too. They've already taken away the Death Prophet. Giants there with Pingu. They get the Suns out onto Nico, but it's not going to be enough, and he still has an Aegis. End up losing B-God, but Scourge McDuck now trying to fight directly with Italiano Gangster. You will never win this fight with the Medusa. They're strong. With the BKB active, she's out right-clicking the Luna. Pingu might die as well. That's crit! 740 damage from Italiano Gangster. Takes away the life of the Bane. 5 heroes do end up falling. Giant will buy back, but a Snapfire by itself cannot do anything to these heroes that are still alive. And they're gonna get this lane of Rax. They haven't even lost their Aegis here, Wingblade.
It was such a strange engagement from the cut because they went in with the DP, but Luna was still quite far away, so it was a 4v5 at the start, and then they already lost 2 heroes before Luna even arrived. They just call it. GG, game is over. We're going to game number 3.
Wow, you said anything was possible then. We are going to be getting this game 3, and we see this fight again. Luna nowhere nearby. The damage output that's emerging here